Hello, hello, my beautiful people. Happy Monday. So, for all my friends, my name is Crystal L. I am an owner, a hairstylist, and the founder of All Hair Academy and the creator of the Beauty Collective, the only DEI trading program that includes both diving into our internal work and external work to make spaces where everyone feels like they are welcome. So I am jumping on because I have had a day. And I just finished with an interview with a local Missouri paper talking about the Crown Act. Now, the Crown Act, for those who are not familiar with it, is a legislation or a law that is created around the world of natural hair. Now, this law prohibits race-based hair discrimination, which can be denial of employment or education opportunities because of hair texture or protective styles, including braids, bantu knots, twists, natural hair. And Crown stands for creating and respecting the open world for natural hair. Now, today has been a day of full out education. So we started with the All Hair Academy, which is a mastermind that I have for hairstylists who are looking to learn more about creating inclusive spaces and building a business where everyone feels like they belong. And about a week ago, the Missouri legislation reached out to me asking my thought about the Crown Act and how it has hit Missouri for the second time. Now, what people don't get and what I didn't understand is that when something is introduced into law, it then goes into the House and then it goes into the Senate. And so just because something is introduced doesn't mean it makes it very far. So in Missouri, the law was introduced in 2020 and was denied, right? So the Crown Act prohibiting people or businesses from discriminating against individuals for their beautiful crown that we're all born with was thrown out. Basically meaning that you could do whatever you wanted and you could discriminate on someone based on their hair style or protective style. So Missouri has brought the law back, and the gentleman who introduced it actually had to rewrite it. And in rewriting it, he had to exclude anything that was a private institution, right? So anything that was a private business, like us as hairstylists, anything that was private was actually excluded from the new legislation of the Crown Act. And it is only applied to educational institutions that are state funded and have financial aid. Now, how crazy is that shit? Like, I'm just going to be 100% honest. That is absolutely absurd. So basically, in the state of Missouri, the only way that he feels like this legislation would pass if it was only applied to educational institutions. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I think that is absolutely crazy. Wendy, I'm so excited that it passed in Connecticut last fall. And I cannot believe that it has actually been only 14 states that the law has been passed. So we still have 36 states to go. Now, what's interesting about Missouri is that it actually passed in law in St. Louis and Kansas City, which are both the metropolitan areas. Like, total trash hunter. That it's only metropolitan areas that see the value in not discriminating against people based on their hair types and textures. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about is that it has absolutely nothing to do with race. Actually, the very first woman who sat on behalf of the Crown Act was a white Jewish woman who had extremely coarse hair, right? So it is not just about skin color. And I talk about this all the time in All Hair Academy. Hair has no skin color. You have to diagnose the hair and go from there. And it doesn't matter what the person looks like. We all deserve, it's a human right to feel like we belong wherever we are, whether it's in a stylist chair, whether it is in at a job. You know, professionalism is not based on your hair type. And I can tell you, boo-boo, a messy bun is just as unprofessional as anything else, right? So I think saying that styles such as braids and locks and bantu knots are unprofessional is absolutely absurd. So one of the things she asked me was, how can we as individuals, both humans and hairstylists, do something to make a difference in our community? So my first thing is, as a hairstylist, it is our duty, right? It's as if you're a doctor, right? When you go to be a doctor, you learn all the things, right? And then you go practice a specialty. So I feel like as hairstylists, we need to learn all the things, and then we can go pick a specialty. And then within that specialty, understanding how to work with multiple hair types and textures is so important. So as hairstylists, we can get curious about the things that we don't know and understand. We can dive deeper into techniques to build our portfolio and our toolbox. We can dive deeper into the systems and the beliefs and thoughts that have been created from us since we were little, and get curious about being different, being curious about making sure that every single person that finds you online, walks in your chair, feels like they belong in your chair. And as a person, you can go to thecrownact.com and you can find legislation if it is in place for your state, or sign a petition for your state to get the legislation added to your state. When you go there, you will see that, again, there are only 14 states that the Crown Act is currently a law. So we have a lot of work to do. I will tell you all that I am working on something so amazing that no one else is doing in our industry. Yes, Hunter just dropped it into the chat. Thank you so much, Hunter. Thank you so much, Hunter, for being an ally in this walk for inclusivity. Thank you so much for being a founding member of the Beauty Collective and a dear friend who is always, always, always at the forefront of inclusivity. I truly, truly appreciate your co-conspirators and your allyship. So please, if you have an opportunity today to go to thecrownact.com and check it out. And I also want to drop something. I've had so many people inbox me and ask me, how can we get more intentional about making sure that we've created an inclusive space? And I feel like the best way and the most successful way to be inclusive is to do a self-assessment, right? Like, I could tell you, I could look through your social, I could look through your brand, I could tell you if you could fix this, this, or that, but I think the most successful stylists do this self-assessment on their own. So I have created a free self-assessment that you can go and check it out. It is something that you can download. You will have the opportunity to answer the questions, and it will tell you right there ways that you can immediately become more inclusive in your brand. So I am so excited to be a part of this movement in the beauty industry to revolutionize creating more inclusive spaces. And I am even more excited to be a part of the Crown Act for the state of Missouri, because this is only the beginning. We have to step outside the norms, step outside of our comfort zone, and be the catalyst for the change that our industry needs. And I'll tell you, these young stylists who are coming out, they are ready to kill it. They are ready to do all hair. They're open for all the things. So if you are a seasoned stylist and you've been in the industry, I would even say 3 years, and you are still stuck in your ways of being exclusionary, your time is numbered, because these new hungry stylists who are hitting the ground running, and we know that the industry over the last year for hairstylists has boomed, and it is continuing to boom. So if you want to be relevant, I invite you to get curious about what you can do to be more inclusive. And the first start is, 1, join the All Hair Academy community. It is a judgment-free community. You can click the link in my bio. And number 2, start doing a self-assessment of how and what you've created and ways that you can change it. So you can also click the link in my bio to take the free self-assessment on how inclusive your brand is. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the Crown Act, talk a lot about the changes that we need in this industry. And I'm going to tell y'all, 2022 is about to be lit. I have some things in my tool belt, some things for you, some things for this industry that it will never be the same for those of us who really want to be a part of this change. Again, every day is a new opportunity to slay, peace, and love. And thank y'all for hanging out with me.